Good afternoon. Today we are going to present our paper, Regeneration of Former Prison in Melipilla, Chile, Use of Digital Technology in an Heritage Restoration Project. Written by Maria Victoria Correa, Gabriela Torres, and Jorge Atria from University of Santiago de Chile, Lavinia Tagliabue from University of Turin, Italy, and Stefano Rinaldi, University of Brescia, Italy. Technology and automation in the field of cultural heritage provide an opportunity for the restoration of historical buildings. The present paper proposes the Restoration and Regeneration project to transform an abandoned former prison in the city of Melipilla, Chile, into a public library. The case study is a reproposing of a building of considerable cultural interest neglected in an historical central urban tissue by creating a new function and demonstrating the feasibility of upgrading an older structure to comply with current parameters of indoor environmental quality, light intensity, and thermal comfort through the appropriate use of passive energy controlled by means of a digital twin approach and automation of adaptive measures. Architecture, particularly when a historical value is concerned, involves an act of mediation between past, present, and future. It occurs through the insertion of something new into established context or through the transformation of an existing structure. In response to the devastating effect of climate change and the systemic alteration of the environment globally, there has been growing endorsement of the principles of sustainability, recycling, and resource reuse. Numerous recent architectural endeavors have fallen into this category, focusing on the recycling and restoration of abandoned properties, reducing costs, and collaborating in passing with environmental recovery and carbon footprint reduction. In this context, the proposed project to regenerate the former prison in Melipilla is addressed. The city is located in the metropolitan region of central Chile, and the project is highly representative of some of the notions mentioned above, as it involves the restoration and the reproposing of a discussed building currently in an advanced state of deterioration. The project has been made possible by the opportunity to assign it a new cultural function. Furthermore, the use of digital design tools has enabled the evaluation and specification of various project alternatives, simulating suitable environmental conditions for its proposed uses and empowering the implementation of minimum impact interventions with the help of existing automation technologies. Abandoned prisons are urban landmarks that bear a heavy historic and social burden and leave a mark on the community. Former prisons can be found in the historical city centers. With the passage of time and urban expansion, new confinement facilities have been created on the outskirts of populated areas. This gradual transition to new infrastructure has left behind old, now disused prisons in the heart of many cities. The architecture of the former prison is typical of others of its type. It is a building around the central corridor that connects the prison cells and helps to ensure security by controlling the movement of inmates. The history of the building has 3 stages. Stage 1 consisted on the main cell block. The walls are built in handmade bricks using the English bond technique. The second stage was added to the prison in the mid-20th century and involved the construction of 2-story structures within the compound. The third stage, implemented at the end of the 20th century, consisted of lightweight materials added to form extension and annexes to the cell block and common areas. Melipilla currently has a small library in the City Council building. However, the room was not designed for this purpose. A new city library would bring considerable benefit and provide a new cultural space for the local community. The project would help to preserve one of the city's historical buildings to promote its heritage value by opening into the public, even if it's not yet safeguarded as monument. The existing building will be renovated and spaces will be connected in order to convert the old prison cells into reading rooms. The original spatial configuration of some of the cells will be left intact. Others will be modified and joined together in order to open up the space and adapt the building to its new function. The project involves the following intervention criteria: respect, authenticity, functionality. Respect. The project respects the historic building, emphasizing the original materials used by the traces of the history. The structure is adapted to its new function while maintaining its original corridors and preserving some of the old prison cell as testimony of the past. Authenticity. A key objective of the project is to preserve the historic fabric of the building, carrying out respectful and restrained interventions. Annexes and extensions that are not in keeping with the original structure will be demolished in order to focus attention on the old cell block. Functionality. The building will be reproposed and the necessary interventions made to ensure the effectiveness of the proposed project. Certain closed-off areas are to be opened up and spaces joined in order to adapt the building to its new function. The original fabric remains in evidence and the memory of the site is preserved. Refurbishment of the former prison building will include the implementation of passive ventilation in order to maximize energy efficiency and adapt the various spaces to the new function. The proposed project takes into consideration local wind speed, temperature, facade material and orientation, and internal ventilation and illumination requirements. Moreover, the excess heat will be dissipated by means of the stack effect. The proposal involves covering the old central corridor with a translucent roof to allow the passage of light. The addition of a solar contour film will prevent glare during the most intense hours of sunlight. This technology helps to reduce radiation and heat, filtering excess of light, and ensuring that the corridor remains comfortable. The old prison cells will become reading rooms and study areas. All rooms will be shaded from excessive light streaming in through the roof by means of a perforated latticework that will filter the light as it enters from the corridor. In order to achieve thermal comfort during the winter, an analysis was made of those parts of the building most susceptible to energy loss. Double-glazed windows will be installed in the original openings and in the gap between the roof and the original walls. In order to control excessive solar gain during the summer, the windows in the central corridor will open automatically to enable the stack effect to exhaust heat from the building, thus ensuring thermal comfort inside. The proposed building renovation system maximizes the comfort of the library users while minimizing energy through passive solutions in order to maximize the building's sustainability. The ability to monitor various parameters of buildings for public use allows for maximum sustainability and, as an additional benefit, users' comfort. One of the most popular approaches today uses the technology provided by the Internet of Things to collect and organize information about the state of the building in what is known as digital twin in the scientific literature. From an Internet of Things perspective, building automations involve using connected devices and sensors to automate and optimize the operation of various systems within a building. These systems may include lighting, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, security, and energy management. By integrating these systems and leveraging data collected from sensors and devices, building managers can gain insights into the building's performance and make data-driven decisions to improve efficiency, comfort, and safety. The renovation of Melipilla prison and passing from a prison to a library necessitates careful planning. A successful renovation can create a space that is both functional and respectful of the history. The following are the most critical findings of the Melipilla History Building renovation from prison to library. Structural issues, historical significance, safety and accessibility, community engagement, elements of design. The design of a building, the design of a library, is important for creating a welcoming and functional space for visitors. We need to consider how to use the existing space in a way that maximizes natural light and creates a comfortable environment for reading and studying when converting a prison into a library. Thanks for your attention.